I've been processing and thinking about what happened at the Blackmagic Design event, trying to see the pros and the cons regarding the brand new Blackmagic Cinema 6K. Because there are always pros and cons, and I'm going to tell you what they are not telling you. I'm Ruben, and I love music, filming, learning, and living happier day to day. As we all know, Blackmagic Design announced a few new things. New ATEM panels, a new video hub 80x80 12G, a new Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K Plus G2, a new Blackmagic Micro Studio Camera 4K G2, a box, a free app called Blackmagic Camera, which I recommend everyone to get. So bye-bye Filmic Pro. And then they also announced a new cinema camera. Okay. This new camera has, number one, OLPF, like the new version of the Ursa Mini 12K, which is custom designed to match the sensor. And I will tell you more about the sensor just in a sec. Number two, this camera now has only one slot for memory card, but with a CF Express card. Another good news, this is much faster than a CF card. Blackmagic Design claims this new camera has 13 stops of dynamic range. Now, 13 stops of dynamic range in 2023, with all the cameras all the competitors are making. Let's move on. This camera records in two formats, Blackmagic RAW with proxies and real-time proxies. It records two streams at the same time, one with the original full-resolution Blackmagic RAW and the other H.264 proxy recording for cloud workflows. And Blackmagic Design decided to change to L-mount. They said that more and more people are using this type of lenses, which will be a good choice that works with a wide range of new and vintage lenses for a wider range of creative alternatives. But the most significant change for Blackmagic cameras is that this new Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K features a 36mm by 24mm full-frame sensor with a native resolution of 6048 by 4032. That's almost 3 times larger than the Super 35 sensor that the other Blackmagic cameras have. Now, you can shoot with shallower depth of field or use anamorphic lenses uncropped. So if you're shooting in bright sunlight or almost no light, in that case, the 13 stops of dynamic range with dual native ISO will provide stunning low light images and lighting conditions. All this means you can now work with more film formats and aspect ratios without sacrificing quality, because you're using the sensor's full area, which gives you a unique open gate 3:2 image where you can reframe your shots in post-production. The larger sensor also allows it to work in true 6:5 anamorphic without cropping, like I said, making widescreen cinematic images more detailed and higher resolution than previously possible. Does all this sound excellent for you? Let's see the frame rates now. This new camera shoots in open gate, means using the whole sensor or full frame in a 3:2 aspect ratio, 6048 by 4032, up to 36 frames per second. Anamorphic 6:5, 4838 by 4032, up to 36 frames per second. 6K DCI 17:9, 6048 by 3200, up to 48 frames per second. We lost 10 frames. 6K 241 6048 by 2520 up to 60 frames per second, the same as in the 6K Pro. Super 35 43 4096 by 3072 up to 50 frames per second. 4K DCI 17:9 4096 by 2160 up to 60 frames per second. Super 16 16:9 2112 by 1184 up to 100 frames per second, and HD 1920 by 1080 up to 120 frames per second. That's very poor. But let's move on. Of course, the more you increase frame rates, the more you decrease resolution and the bigger the crop will be. Just to keep this in mind. Now, the brand new Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K without the pocket costs $2,595 USD. Why? Well, because Blackmagic Design likes to keep awesome prices with good quality products, and also because the body didn't suffer any changes. They believe this type of body will be much more comfortable for traveling and any situation. Well, to be honest, the body changed because of the L mount. In any case, nobody at Blackmagic Design believes that a type of cube will be more functional or modular, but I will return on that in a second. So, what we don't have now with this camera? Number one, we don't have ND filters. Blackmagic Design believes that people working with this high-end cinema camera already have matte boxes with expensive variable ND filters, so there's no need for them. Also, there's no space due to the L mount, which is more important. Number two, we have the same NP battery. Again, Blackmagic Design believes that people working with this high-end cinema camera can use the same rig we have for other Blackmagic cameras because they will fit due to having the same body. What about if I want to travel? What about if I wanted to go minimalist? What about when I want to use this big camera with a gimbal that has the same battery life? Now, some people who have already used this camera claim that the battery has lasted an hour and a half, an hour 15 minutes. With all due respect, I have the 6K Pro and the original battery fully charged lasts me for about 15-20 minutes, filming in 6K B-RAW. Which is the reason why I always use my Anton Bauer Titan-based battery under the camera. I don't know how the same NP battery will last even 1 hour when you film using the massive sensor, which probably will be very power hungry. One of the reasons we wanted to have different type of body was not because we desperately wanted to have a cube. The practical reason was to allow the camera to have better battery choices. Okay, now I have to mention it, like in the case of the Red Komodo X, but also other cameras like the Canon C70, Sony FX30, etc. It's just the fact of using the camera without having to rig it. And number three, we don't have ProRes. Now, personally, this doesn't affect me because I used ProRes at the beginning. Still, I know many people who use ProRes, and there are companies who ask for ProRes. I could go on, but this now is where the tricky part starts. Suppose you want to update coming from the 6K Pro. You sell your camera and you buy the new one. What do you need to buy in order to make it work? You'll need to buy a new CF Express card, about 200 euros. You'll need to buy a new CF Express card reader, about, I don't know. You'll need to buy a lens adapter for your EF lenses, about 200 euros, let's say a decent one. You'll need to buy an ND filter, a good quality like, for example, Nisi, it's about 200 euros. And if you use Tiffen Promise filters, you'll need to sell them and buy another one you can stick in front of your new ND, or you'll need to buy filters for your matte box if you already have one, and they can be very pricey if you want good quality filters. And we forgot full frame lenses, because the lenses you have may give you some vignetting when you use your full sensor. It seems, and I'm not the only one, that this particular camera may not fully meet people's expectations and concerns with these cameras. But hey, if full frame open gate at 36 frames per second makes you happy, life is too short to sweat about it. Thank you for watching and see you all in the next one. Peace and love.